Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the CHA Connect podcast. Here we are again, and I'm all decked out in my spirit wear. It is color day. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But today we have a great episode lined up for you. First, we'll talk to Royce Wiersma. He is a 4th grade teacher here at Chapel Hill. And following that, we'll talk with Stephen Bolton. He is our chapel speaker today in Missions Month. He is from the Hockey Ministries International. Great lineup, great fun to talk with them. So let's get started. All right, we are here today with Royce Wiersma. He is a 4th grade teacher at Chapel Hill Academy, and this is your first official year as a teacher at Chapel Hill. Last year, he was a substitute known as Mr. W.
Yes.
And so now you're more formally Mr. Wiersma.
Yes, it's not Mr. W anymore.
No more.
Yes.
Right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your family.
So I grew up in Wisconsin and moved to Minnesota a couple years ago.
You've got the Minnesota. You got it.
Yeah, I do. I was out in Colorado for 15 years after college, and moved back to Minnesota in 23, and met my now wife Katie, and we have a daughter who is just turned 20 months. So we're navigating that right now. A little girl named Izzy, and
she's so cute.
Yeah,
she's adorable. She looks just like you.
She does look like, I hope she grows up a little bit more looking like my wife, but she does look a lot like me right now.
That's great. Okay, let's talk about your clothes. Either you're going hunting this weekend or...
I am from Blackbird Falls, which is the deer hunting capital of the world, but I do not hunt.
Orange.
I do not hunt. But it is Orange Day, Missions Month here at Chapel Hill, Missions Month, but this week is Spirit Week, and today we are orange. So
yeah, it's color day today.
Yes.
So every class, every grade level has a color,
yes.
and the middle school has PAX and DEN colors.
Yes.
So
we didn't have many options left, so we went with orange.
yes.
And I have a little bit of orange.
And you can pull out of the repertoire your football jersey.
Yes,
So you
well,
played
high school. I went to the garage this morning actually and found it in the box and pulled
Nice.
it out.
But the kids
So-
love that.
And you're in tie-dye.
I'm in tie-dye, so I'll tell you about the
Yes.
tie-dye. So because the admin represents all the grade levels, you know, we love all of them. We wanted to have a little bit of a color scheme going. So here's what happened. The admin team had a little pizza party and tie-dye experience last week when we didn't have school. And so this was the best attempt I had. I had never tie-dyed before. And I realized I did it wrong. It's awfully white. There's very little tie-dye. But Rick over here, who's behind the screen, his turned out great. I don't know how he did it. Everybody thinks he used Copilot to give him some direction,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I think you did.
So anyway, this is what we're wearing this week for Snow Days, Spirit Week.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
So tell me about 4th grade and how it feels this year to move from, you had been in 2nd grade before, but you had been in 4th in the past.
I between 2nd and 4th I've taught most of my time, but also I did have a year in 1st grade. And the plan was to be in primary grades this year. But I'm falling in love with 4th grade again. Absolutely. I probably did about 10 years of 4th grade in Colorado. And I'm just falling in love again with the older kids.
I think you told me once that whatever grade you teach, you fall in love with that grade.
You
It's
find
just so
you
fun.
find those things you really click to, and you just enjoy about them. So I mean, wherever I land, I try to focus on those things that really draw me to that grade, not the things that maybe wouldn't draw me to that grade, I guess. Yeah.
That's great. That's the sign of a great teacher who loves to work with kids.
Yeah.
Now tell me some kids stories. You got some funny kids stories, things that you're learning from them, or things that just make you laugh and say, I'm so glad I'm a teacher.
Oh, there's so many different stories throughout the years. I mean, this year, I'm doing stuff with these kids this year that I've never done before in school.
I've seen that.
Yes, just some skills that they're doing is beyond that I've ever done in 4th grade, and it's so encouraging, and talking to them, persevering through things, and showing that grit and doing really hard things is just so much fun with these kids.
Yeah.
I don't know about really funny story this year. I'm drawing a blank on that one right now.
Well, you
to be
can
honest.
think about that for a minute, but what I want to just piggyback on something you said, persevering. You know, I was in your classroom a few weeks ago, and I got to get a sneak peek, a little peek
Yeah.
at what you're doing with them, is specifically in math.
Yeah.
I was blown away that they were doing order of operations and exponents, and they wanted more.
Yeah.
And one student said, "Why is this so fun?"
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to how you really meet their needs. You're presenting it in a way that really builds confidence. And I think they feel really grown up and mature when they can do hard things.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you said, and everybody followed. I can do hard things. We can do hard
Yeah.
things. It was
Yeah.
great to
That's
hear.
not just a fourth grade skill. That's something I experience just waking my daughter up this morning. I can do hard things. You know?
Yeah.
That's hard, you know? I mean,
Philippians 4:13.
yeah,
You can do all
things
things.
through Christ.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, what other things do you see them really growing in your classroom? Some things that give you just that great inspiration.
I mean, even at chapel today, it's just seeing these kids worship and coming back and talking about the things the speaker talked on. I think today's speaker really hit on my boys that really are into sports. And the few that are into hockey were like, you know, where is this? You know, like they're really having, and just, it's so encouraging them to see them grow in their faith this year. It's something you know, being my first year at Chapel Hill, it wasn't something I was able to talk about teaching previously, and just talking to these kids about Christ, and it's just been so powerful for me as a teacher, you know, and to see these kids grow in their faith, not just their skills, but their faith has been.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You touched on a really good point about the kids with their sports,
Yeah.
seeing how it is connected to God. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be separate. It
Yes.
can be all aligned
Yes.
and part of their walk with the Lord. They can use it.
Yeah.
And so I love that they went back and talked to you about that. We're going to talk to our chapel speaker in just a
Yeah.
little bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's great.
Excited to hear from him too again.
Yeah. So coming from public school education, you had mentioned that the fact that you get to share Christ with your
Yes.
students. What other things have you noticed just about the community, the family,
Yeah.
has been a blessing to you?
The huge blessing for me has been the parents, honestly. They're just phenomenal. The relationship that I have with them, when things are hard or having a harder, tougher conversation with them, they come at it with such a Christ view, that it is a faith-filled view, that it is so much easier to have those conversations with them. And just the community and everyone just caring about each other so much here. It's just been joy of my life so far in education.
Yeah. It is that notion of family of families.
Yeah.
You know, we are an extended family here.
Yeah.
And we care about one another because Christ is center. We are aligned in that way, which is a great blessing.
Yes.
Now, also you pour into kids, not just in the classroom, but also in sports.
Yeah. This year. Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Coaching the fourth grade girls hoops team this year, and it's an amazing experience to bring in some character traits from the Bible and just talk about those, how we bring them into basketball to glorify Lord has been awesome. We may not be getting the most wins this year, but just working on these skills, getting them introduced to the game of basketball. For some of them, it's the first time they've really been part of a team. So it's just, they're just great kids and great families to work with. I couldn't have asked for a better experience for coaching girls hoops.
That's great.
Yeah, and I've coached a lot of basketball, youth stuff, but it's different coaching. I've been coaching younger girls, so it's been interesting. But I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
I'm becoming a better coach, better communicator, and hopefully they're learning a little bit too.
I think
So.
they're having a great time.
Yeah, they're having a great time.
What's your favorite sport to coach? Is it basketball?
Probably basketball,
Okay.
yeah. I haven't
Lovely.
coached many other sports outside of basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite sport to watch?
It depends on the season, Cassie.
Yeah,
I mean, it is like, it's all in on Wisconsin stuff, but it depends on the year, you know, like it's.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
I guess.
I'm sure you watch a little bit of sports at home.
Probably a little bit
More than you want.
more than, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just always on in my
Yeah.
household.
We're doing a better job as a family to be more present right now.
Mhm.
And we have a kind of even a Sunday day a Sunday hour at the end of where we do some calendaring for the week,
Yeah.
but also put the phones away and talk about,
Yeah.
my wife has a hard time sometimes with the sports on so much.
Well, and I can joke about it too, but
Yeah.
really it is such a important part of a person's life to experience teamwork
Yeah, oh, for
and
sure.
trying an activity that is fun. We talked a little bit a few weeks ago about fine arts and performance, but sports are really important as well, to at least have exposure to different activities, to see what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
But that community that can be built
Yeah.
through the sport,
Yeah.
through a solid leader that brings a team together,
Yeah.
for a bigger purpose is so important.
I've learned a lot of life skills just playing high school sports, and
Yep.
even what little time I had in college, and being cut from a basketball team and learning life lesson. There's a lot of stuff you take away from that.
So what sports do you think Izzy will be?
I'm going to give her everything she can
Yeah.
handle.
Yeah.
I really honestly don't care. If
Yeah.
she doesn't play them, she doesn't play them. If she plays them, I'll help coach
Give it a
them.
try.
Well, if it's hockey though, I can barely stand on ice, so
Okay.
there's no way I'm getting skates on. So
Well, she might just pass you up really quickly if she likes hockey then.
that'd be all right. I don't care. Yeah, a lot of her cousins play hockey, so I'm sure she'll get a
Great.
chance to put on skates.
All right. Well, what's one thing that you could tell parents that could be an encouragement about what you see in kids today? And if you have any tips or advice, that'd be great too.
Yeah, just continue to support these kids, and just and this community does a great job. I'm not, but just the more you can support them, the greater. However that might be, in their faith and their math, whatever. Just pouring into them, and in that relationship you have with the teacher. So
Supporting them in just the work ethic, the hard work
Yes.
that they put in.
yeah,
Not always the outcome, the grade.
Yeah.
It's more about the process
for sure.
and how they apply themselves and how they really
Yeah,
look
make
at
them go through some things, like some grit, have them really sit on some things, and really not just do the work for them.
Yes.
There's been times I've taught, and it's like you grade something, and the kid has no idea how the process, how they got to that answer.
Yeah.
So it's okay. The homework that comes home, that's where you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And then the assessments, the kids do the work, but it's just coaching them through that process, and
Yeah.
not just getting them just do this, this, and this. And I'm seeing that so much with some of these word problems that we're doing, and just really working through that versus you're just multiplying that there.
Yeah.
Okay, think about
What's happening?
Yes, talk through the problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think at this age, that's the most important thing. It's not the completion of something, although that is important. But
Yes.
it's really, what are they gaining in the process of learning through a problem, a project, or some kind of activity?
Yeah.
That's such a life skill, to have
Yeah.
that perseverance. I can
Yes.
do hard things.
Yes.
We can do hard things.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
been that's been kind of the motto this for a while now, is they're learning some really challenging math stuff, especially, and in the missions month we're studying the European countries, studying each kid as a European country, and taking some notes and combining them, and just writing a 6-paragraph paper. this is
Wow, for
we can
fourth
really
grade, that's big.
do some hard things,
We can.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give them the opportunity, the encouragement,
yeah.
the support.
Yes.
There you go. All right, Royce. Well, thanks so much for being with me today and for all the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, thanks for having me here today, and being in the hot seat.
That's great.
This is
We
pretty
love
hot, but that was good.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm here with Stephen Bolton. He is representing Hockey Ministries International, and we are in the midst of Missions Month, and he is one of our speakers. And just today, he spoke to our students, and this really captured their attention because he's a hockey guy, and he is using his love and gifts and skills in hockey to serve God, and had a great message for our students. So welcome, Stephen.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. I would love for you to share just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Then we'll get into some things that you're seeing and experiencing in your ministry, and how that is glorifying God and serving His kingdom.
Sure, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm a hockey player from Las Vegas, Nevada, so if that doesn't cause a lot of questions. Happy to explain a little more. But hockey player from Las Vegas that he's called to Minnesota to share Jesus with the hockey world. So I was fortunate to play AAA hockey growing up.
But you never probably played in your backyard.
No,
right?
not in my backyard.
Not like these kids here.
I actually have my first backyard rink this year. So I figured living in Minnesota for
Yep.
over 10 years, this was the chance to give it a go. It's been a fun season. But
Yeah.
Minnesota is the state of hockey. And there's such a great need here to share Jesus with the hockey world.
So many of our students are hockey players or just enjoy the sport.
Yep.
And so you started as a youth.
Yep.
And tell us a little bit about your journey in hockey and how that moved you to be serving God in this sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I didn't grow up in a Christian home. Gave my life to Jesus at a Christian camp when I was 12 years old. And that radically changed my life to come back and just started playing hockey that same year. I saw the movie Mighty Ducks. All the kids in the neighborhood were playing.
Yeah.
Of course, being the youngest kid, I got put in goalie. And I told my mom, as soon as I got back from camp, I'm going to change the hockey world for Jesus. So I set out on my team to make a difference, to be a light to my teammates. I like to use the analogy of to use hockey as a tool to glorify God. And that was kind of my compass, is to always have it in the right place. But slowly over time, when I actually wanted to pursue a D1 scholarship, I played 3 years of junior hockey, and you just focus on hockey. And that started to consume me, where my identity got wrapped up in a game. I was consumed by how my performance, how I did, whether it was good or bad. And then I was consumed by what my coaches thought about me. Anything I could do to control. Isn't that a good example of faith, right? When you were trying to hold on to things too tight, I was trying to control all my circumstances, and that led to a life full of anxiety. Yet on the outside, no one knew it.
Right.
I was miserable. And at the end of 3 years of junior hockey, it brought me to a point where I got a really tough phone call from a family member who was in a dark place that put things in perspective of what was truly important, and prayed out to God for the first time in a long time for him to intervene. And then read a children's Bible in my billet family's home. I did a Bible flip to Genesis 22, the story of Abraham and Isaac, and felt like God spoke directly to me. Would you lay the game down? Would you give me everything?
And how old were you at this time?
I was 21 years old.
Wow, that says a lot. At that age, to really hear that message and to act in obedience to do that.
Yep.
Wow, how did that go for you? What was the next steps that you took?
Yeah, because I was on 5 teams in 1 year. I don't recommend anybody breaking that record from a hockey perspective. But scholarship after scholarship was falling through. In that moment, I was so done with trying to live my own way. And I said, absolutely, I will joyfully follow you. And it gave me great peace to know, like, okay, I don't have to be defined by this game. Easier said than done. So I decided to lay down the game at the end of that season and go to a private Christian school in San Diego, where I could be surrounded by the culture that I needed. And of course, my phone rang. As soon as I made that decision, it was a Division I school offering me a scholarship. And I did wrestle a little bit, like, God, did I get it right? Did I hear you? I went and checked out the school, and I had zero peace about doing this D1 scholarship. And you can imagine everybody around you in your sphere of influence is like, what are you doing? And you're turning down the thing that you've worked for your entire life. And it was hard, but in times when he asked us to do things, I had supernatural peace and joy to lay it down. I also had no desire to put my skates on anymore. So I went to that school in San Diego for a year. I'm about to tell you, it was awesome being on the beach, but it was actually, ironically, a kid from Las Vegas, from the desert. It was my year in the desert where I had no idea who I was. I had to build my foundation identity on him. Everybody wanted to go surf every day, and they didn't care that I was a hockey player. So that time is coming for all of us, whatever our passion is. We have to build a foundation in him. And that's what I did, is to learn how to surrender daily in my relationship with Jesus. And he eventually gave me the desire to play, and heard him say, hey, you can have the game back, just use it for my glory.
Wow, I think one of the things that you said to the students that was really profound was, let's take the word hockey and replace it with that thing in your life that you're passionate about, that you're focusing on, and that you want to pursue. And how can God take the place of that and be first? And then you can maybe be using some of those gifts or passions to serve him. And I saw the students really lean forward and sit up a little bit and listen to that, because you asked about who are the dancers, who are the singers, the artists. There's all kinds of things that we enjoy doing that we can put before God. And if we release that, if we surrender that, that's when we can really find that peace and that path that I think we're all looking for.
Yep.
What kind of impact do you see with people that you come in contact with in the ministry? So the players,
Yeah.
the people that are, asking questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm working primarily with public schools. So first we get approval from the team and association, go through a process to make sure they're okay with it. Then it's totally voluntary for them to come to our chapel program. It's a Bible study where we meet them at the rink. We take away the excuse of church. We're reaching the kids who would never step foot into a church, but they'll come because there's food and a fun game, and then they hear God's word, how to build a foundation, how to have character, how to be coachable, how to be a great teammate, all derived from the Bible. And then they hear the gospel. And we've seen overwhelming stories of people giving their life to Jesus. One quick story: initially there was a school where I had approval from, and then we got some pushback right before I usually do my first ever chapel. And I usually go and present in the locker room, or I go share with the team, here's who we are, here's where I'll be upstairs, we got pizza for you, everyone will get a Bible. And unfortunately, before I was about to go present, I was told I couldn't, and there was some pushback. So all I could do is go sit in the stands and hope that these kids would come to a chapel that they know nothing about and don't know me. So I sat in this room and prayed. I was like, Jesus, please just send like 2 kids, like whatever, it's just somebody show up.
Sure.
And one by one, these players trickled in. We had 16 out of 17 of the players there. I shared my testimony that day and gave every single kid came up and got a Bible after. And then I come back the next week. I'm like, all right, God, was that a fluke? We'll see. All 16 kids came back, and I did an altar call at the end, and 15 kids raised their hand to accept Christ. I sat in my car like crying, like what almost didn't happen. But nothing can stop what God wants to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just being willing to serve him in that way.
Absolutely.
And trusting him. You talked a bit about that season of preparation.
Yep.
So we can get on fire for the Lord and want to do this or that for him, but then maybe it's not the right time. What did he teach you in a couple of years that you brought up where you were getting frustrated and wanted to move, and God was saying, you know what, not just yet. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I got called to do this right out of college. I got introduced to hockey ministries in college and never heard of it, and that's partly why I'm so passionate about it, is this could have been a huge impact on someone who was a believer to grow in their faith, and obviously we want to reach those that don't know him as well. And in this season, once I received the, hey, this is what you're supposed to do with such confidence, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 10 years. I ended up working a corporate job, waiting patiently. Me and my wife thought we might be overseas missionaries. So we went on a couple missions trip to Cairo and Comoros. And both of the trips were amazing and transformational. But I came back to each one being, no, I'm not calling you here. I'm like, well, what is it? This is taking too long.
Yeah.
And I got really upset with God. I was like, I'm willing to go anywhere. I'm willing to serve you anywhere. Why don't you just make it clear? Because I started to question, did you call me to share Jesus with the hockey world or not? And eventually I came to a stillness and heard him say, quit putting ministry on a pedestal and worship me where I have you and trust my perfect timing. It hurt to hear that, but I also said, I'm gonna listen to that and obey it. I started a Bible study at my corporate job, started serving a local team, volunteering as their chaplain. And it was hard, but I knew that his timing was perfect, and it was in hindsight, right? But when you're in it, looking back, it was like unbelievable how things all aligned. 10 years later, when he did call me and make it completely clear that now was the time to move forward. So.
And what a great testimony that is to share with people about timing and preparation. So it reminded me when you mentioned you were waiting in the stands or the bleachers for people to come. And you weren't able to speak, but you just sat there and you prayed. And so again, you waited for God's timing. You waited for him to lead. And that goes back to the practice you had with those many years. So we all have preparation for things that he's calling us to do. It's about him and his plan, not our own.
That's good.
What is one thing that you would like people to know? We have a lot of families, we have community members that might be watching this podcast, but what's a message for them?
Me and my mom talk about this all the time. It's made me emotional, but there's a time I would have given anything to play Division I hockey, anything, and how desperate I was. And my heart yearns for kids to have that same desperation for a relationship with Jesus, because hockey is a great game, but it's a terrible God. And it's something I worshiped, and I know we can get caught up in to get that next team, scholarship, but it's not what our heart was designed for, to be filled by. Only a relationship through Jesus. So my encouragement to any families out there, there's nothing wrong with that. But as you mentioned, what's most important is the priority and place those things are. Are you using it as a tool to glorify God, or is it something that's consuming you? And I played the best ever when I played at Bethel and I had things in the right perspective because I was playing free, knowing that my identity was in Him and not a game.
Great message. And again, it goes back to as parents and adults, we're leading kids. And they love the game.
Yeah.
They love the activity that they're in.
Yeah.
And how can we help them make sure they prioritize their life to focus on God?
Yeah.
And we model that, we encourage that, and we really want to support that in them.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your ministry and the
Thank you.
impact that Hockey Ministry International is having on a lot of young people and older people all across the world.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining me today, Stephen.
Thanks for having me. I think I have the greatest job in the world is getting to share Jesus with the hockey player.
Amen to that.
So,
thank you. Okay, well, that was so much fun talking to Stephen Bolton from Hockey Ministries International. If you would like more information about this organization, perhaps thinking of youth camps, or even if you're interested in applying to be a chaplain, you can check out the link below and contact Stephen directly. Also, if you can remember to like and subscribe to this podcast, that really helps us extend our reach to bring people great content. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode of the CHA Connect podcast. We'll see you next time.